I always believed our marriage was built on a foundation of trust. We'd been together for 10 years, and I thought I knew him better than anyone. But lately, something was off. It wasn't one big thing, but a collection of tiny, almost unnoticeable changes. He started guarding his phone like it held state secrets, angling it away whenever I walked into the room. He began working late more often, his excuses always sounding just a little too rehearsed. "Big project at work," he'd say, but his eyes wouldn't quite meet mine. At first, I tried to brush it off. I told myself I was being paranoid, that after a decade, a little bit of a routine shift was normal. But the feeling in my gut, that cold, knotting sensation, just wouldn't go away. I started paying closer attention. The small things began to add up, like puzzle pieces I didn't know I was collecting. There was a new cologne he started wearing, one I'd never smelled before. There were unexplained receipts in his car for coffee shops in neighborhoods we never visited. He was suddenly very interested in his appearance, joining a gym and buying new clothes, things he'd never cared much about before. The first real clue dropped right into my lap. I was doing laundry and found a small folded receipt in his jeans pocket. It was from a fancy restaurant downtown, a place we'd only been to for our anniversary. The date was from a night he supposedly worked late. The total was for 2 main courses and 2 glasses of wine. My heart started pounding. Alone? Or was this the big project he was working on? I confronted him calmly that evening, holding up the receipt. He just laughed it off, saying he took a client out for dinner and forgot to mention it. His answer was so smooth, so practiced, that for a moment, I almost believed him. But the lie felt hollow. That night I couldn't sleep. The image of that receipt was burned into my mind. I decided I needed more than just a gut feeling. I needed proof. The next day, I remembered our shared tablet, which we sometimes used for family calendars and notes. I opened the web browser, and my blood ran cold. The search history was filled with lookups for a specific name, a woman I didn't recognize. I typed her name into a social media search bar, and my world tilted on its axis. There she was. And there, in her pictures, was my husband, smiling, laughing, looking happier than I'd seen him in years. There were photos of them at that same restaurant, at a concert he told me was sold out, even on a weekend trip to a nearby town he claimed was a work conference. Each photo was a stab to the heart. The clues all clicked into place. The late nights, the new cologne, the secrecy with his phone. It wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was a complete, devastating picture of his betrayal, laid out for me in a digital album of lies. The man I thought I knew was a stranger. Gathering the evidence felt like an out-of-body experience. I took screenshots of everything, saving them to a secure folder. My hands were shaking, but my mind was surprisingly clear. The sadness was immense, but beneath it, a sense of resolve was growing. I wasn't going to be the wife who looked the other way. I deserved the truth, and I deserved respect. I laid all the proof out on the dining room table that evening, the restaurant receipt, the screenshots of their photos together, the timeline of his lies. When he walked in, his usual cheerful greeting died on his lips. He saw the table and his face went pale. There was no room for excuses, no plausible deniability. It was all there. The silence was deafening. In that moment, I realized my marriage was over, but my life was not. Connecting those clues was painful, but it was also liberating. It gave me the power to see the truth and to finally start moving forward on my own terms. This was the end of our story, but it was the beginning of mine. Thanks for listening, and if you've been through something similar, know that you are not alone. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories.